Hello. 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 I'm sure it'll be fun. Hello, hello. Onesies. I think it always gives you one viewer. Really like that. Yeah. A little bored tonight. Man, get some people to chat with tonight. Some people to chat with tonight. Yeah. Shoulders almost as big as my back part. Enjoyable, huh? Mm. Uh, 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 uh. Mm. Oh man, I'm bored today. Say that. Hot in here. It's hot in here. Hot in. Oh, it's so much better. Ass needs to be all fluffed out. Yeah, fluff everything out. Oh. Mm. Did pretty good today. Did some exercises today. Did a bunch of shoulders. Did some shoulders. Did some chest. But I noticed when I bench, if I bench like right below here, I push from here up to here, it hits my chest a lot more. I can feel like the middle of my chest getting hit more. I'll tell you what, it feels really good. Did pretty lightweight, feel like 90 pounds. But I did it with a lot of control, so it actually compressed my chest a little bit. I hit my shoulders a lot. The cool thing is when I do shoulders now, I actually start seeing really heavy division when I actually do them. But it is what it is. I'm pretty happy about yesterday. Talked to a few people. Fitness is huge, and people are assholes with it. Big assholes with it. So when you talk about fitness, people get upset. Make a bunch of videos. I love that shit. I love when people get upset about fitness. And like pretend everyone's on steroids. Majority of people take a lot of stuff, especially if they're older. The biggest thing about fitness is keeping that control, keeping that lifestyle going, keeping yourself going, keeping that body keep going. And it gets fun, especially when you start seeing gains. When you start seeing gains, you start feeling better. And it's like a competition with yourself. I say before when I was talking to a couple other people, it's like leveling up. You got your strength, get your mental, You got your agility, your stuff like that. So say like strength, wisdom, and agility. It's kind of basically the same thing. You build up your strength, which is your mass, your muscle mass, and your neurological lifting, which is strength. Build up your wisdom, which is your discipline in that, and be able to grow mentally as you grow physically. And agility is like doing cardio. So those three things go hand in hand. Three little things. Why? Based upon video games? Because I play a lot of video games. And that's what I see. When I see a fast character, normally they're very skinny and nimble. When I see a really strong character, normally they're very big and tough. They got a lot of mass. When I see a wise character, normally they're very, they're very knowledgeable. They're not, they think very openly and critically on things. Or you have a all-around balanced person like your main hero that has great strength, great wisdom, and great agility. That's how it's based off of. And it's really curious because not a lot of people understand it. Not a lot of people want to understand it. You don't need to lift 5,000 pounds to fucking look good or have big muscles. Look at my size. I barely lift, really. I don't lift massively heavy. Building mass has nothing to do with lifting heavy. It has to lift with a proper amount of weight with control that adds up to being to gain more muscle. That's why you see people in high school that lift heavy, but they don't really get that big for their weight size, so to speak. So if you're 165 pounds, your goal might be to bench over, 200 pounds. You can do that without getting really big because it's just how it is. Your nervous system works with you really good. And you might gain some size, but you're not going to fucking blow up. That's why you see a lot of people in their late 20s, early 30s like me. You see they get stacked. They get this mass. They get broad shoulders. Their chest gets big. Their arms get huge. It's not to say I can curl a lot. It's not to say I can push a lot. It's just, I got a lot more mass on me from breaking down the muscle fiber so many times and building them back up. That's all it is, honestly. So starting off with anything with physical fitness, it's always hard. It's like with anything else. So you ever remember playing with remote control, for instance? When you first play with remote control, you have to look at the buttons. Same thing with lifting weights. You got to look at yourself. Even when you are, say, above a beginner like me, I just have to look at myself in that. It's really hard, because you want to keep that mind-body connection as good as possible because looking, connects to your mind. And then once you get so used to that, once you figure that rhythm out, it just becomes natural. So when you go in the gym, you know exactly what to do. You know exactly how to build the muscle from eating and that. You know exactly what foods you need to eat, depending on what you like. That matters. So when people come in and they sit there, they go to the gym, they don't have a plan. They go in there, they have no idea what they're doing. And everyone starts off like that. I start off like that, but now I know. I go in, I do my cardio, depending on how much, can be up to 10 to 30 minutes, depending. And I go and I know what muscle groups I'm hitting. So if I'm hitting chest, I'll hit chest, then I'll hit shoulders. So I'll hit shoulders. So I'll do, back shoulders, front shoulders, side shoulders, or just overall just flies with wings, do wing flies, not straight flies. Straight flies are fucking stupid because they both do the same thing, but wing flies, you can get it up a little bit better. Because when you lean over in that, this is what I'm starting to do. When you lean over in that, you can actually start to get that tightness. And you'll start getting more division in the back, too. When you do this straight, it fucks with your forearms. So if you're trying to pull a lot of weight or a good amount of weight, because I do I went up to 30 pounds today. Just go like this. Not go like this, because you don't go all the way up. You go even with the trapezes. So this. Even with the trapezes. You can feel it yourself. And most exercises, if you do it, you go up, you do it, you can feel it yourself. That you're like, okay, what tightens up? That's the tighten up. If you go too far up, then the trapezius and back will kick in. Then all of a sudden you're like, you feel really weird because you're hitting shoulders, you're also hitting a lot of back. And sometimes it's hard. Sometimes that back muscle will kick in no matter what. So you kind of just like go with it until you can really get that tightness going on so you can actually just use a full shoulder. But every muscle group can't be used by itself particularly. So like if you do biceps, you're going to end up doing forearm. And the way you do the bicep and that, when you go up, more or less if you go down like this, your tricep activates. So you go up, bicep, tricep. If you go up too much, you'll hit frontal shoulders. You go down too much, you hit the back door. You hit the back muscle. That's how it is. It's a variation of it. Same thing with chest. If you're too closed in, for instance, you'll hit it. You'll feel it. But if you're expanding your chest out, your chest feels like it's more primary muscle, your chest will explode a little bit more. You'll get that better explosion. And especially as different hand grips. And like some people bench like this. It actually works out really good too. So I bench like this because it's a completely different muscle usage. It just feels different when you get underneath the pec to tighten up. So like little exercise I do with little weights, I do tighten exercises. I go like this, I raise it up. I don't try to go past too far because I want my whole entire pec to get that motion of it. Boop. Even when you go like this, you tighten up your pecs and that, you're still getting that muscle to be used. You see a lot of bodybuilders do it, even though they're on steroids most likely. That doesn't matter. That's just all about recovery. Steroids doesn't grow muscle if you don't use it. That's the basics of it. I mean, anyone can grow natural, but how much natural can you grow? A lot. So when people look at people at the gym, for instance, like when people look at me, they'll look at me and be like, your arms are super big, it looks like you're getting bigger shoulders than that. I see that a lot now. I'm like, I work out. Working out is breaking down muscle fibers. It's very simple. You do it till it burns. You take a little break. Let your body pump up if you got protein or got, not protein, but pre-workout and that. And then you do it again. You let it burn again. And once when that burn basically subsides because you're pumped out, that more or less you broke down as much as you can. And that's that, you're done. You have to work out for 3 or 4 hours. There's one guy at the gym. Same dude I always see. Cool dude. The dude literally, he's like, oh man, I'm at the gym for like 2 hours. No one works out for 2 hours straight. I mean, most people potentially don't do fully 2 hour workouts. I say an hour. But some people do. They'll eat a lot of carbs and that. Their day's like halfway done because they just got off work. So they have to do a enormous workout. And it's just like, okay, I understand that. But it's still a waste of energy to not sit there and go into an exercise and saying, oh, I'm going to do my chest. And all of a sudden, okay, I'll do my shoulders too because shoulders and chest kind of all that. And all of a sudden, you'll get them to do like biceps. Okay, now you're going to 3 muscle groups. I'm saying, oh, I'm going to do tricep because tricep had a lot to do with my bench and that. You go to 4 muscle groups. You might be doing too much, but in some cases, if you have the energy to do it, or more or less you're not working out the muscles that you were supposed to work out that day efficiently enough to build. So when people do all these exercises, you do, I would say minimum 5 sets. 5 sets of from like 10 to 20. Keep the rep range with the weight range. Don't force enormous amount of weight to try to hit 10 if you can only do 5. That's stupid. It does absolutely nothing but tear you up. So if you're doing bench press, which I will do, your max, you always go by your max. Your max is 150. I mean, that's light as fuck for me, honestly. But for a normal person that doesn't bench a lot, obviously that's gonna be rather heavy. Because 150 is a lot of weight. Most people in a normal setting don't weigh over 200 pounds like me. So my mass makes me be able to lift more very easily. And some people think, oh, 150 pounds is weak. Not everyone benches 315. I see guys at the gym barely bench 325, or not 325. I mean 225. There's very few people that can bench over 200 pounds with reps. Very few. You can tell because they're so big. You can tell by the chest formations of how much mass they have. They do very easily. There's just one black gentleman in there. He's at my gym. He's a big guy. And the funny thing is, it's like we're kind of about the same thickness, but he's like 40 something. He's like 46 pounds less than me. But also, he's been working out a lot longer than me, obviously, because he's been a boxer. Now you can tell his physique in that. But we're about the same frame. We're the same thickness and shoulder. He's got a little bit more chest than that, and his arms are pretty big too, like mine. And he put up 225, and he did like reps of 8, reps of 10, rather easy. But then he stopped, and I'm just like, I think he did like 2 sets. I'm like, what's the point of doing 2 sets when you could do 5 to 6 sets and just drop the weight? Well, people always say you want to end on a heavy set so your nervous system understands that. Well, if you're not working on strength, you want to drop the weight and try to get as many reps in as you can to force that muscle to break down more, especially if you have that muscle that's been there for a while, as in you have a lot of it. Unfortunately, not a lot of people get it. Like, oh, well, the heavy weights now. You can pick up a building all you want. To do it in the most safest control way is to drop it down, do massive reps, build the mass up, and then increase the strength load based upon your mass. I mean, you can focus on stuff because you don't want to damage yourself. Like I messed up my neck. My neck is still messed up. My trapezies are still messed up. When I took it's not a lot of weight to me now, but when I was first starting that, I was like 2.5 years ago. I took weight in that, and I think it was like 65 pounds. I went like this, and I threw it up with my body mass to let my neck catch it. I thought I was exercising, and then I started pulling my neck more, while being a dumbass, and I didn't stop. Eventually, my neck got pulled to the certain point where it was jammed up. So I have to stretch it out. It's all jammed up right here, right up front, right here. It's all jammed up right up front, right here, right next to the shoulder blade. And I was not nearly as strong as I am now. But I fucked myself up. It's not too bad. It's a little knot. I had to do stretches that. But even still. So if you're a beginner, everyone will tell you that's in my range of a little bit above beginner. I kind of got the rust off me, and I know what I'm doing to a certain extent to be able to build mass. I can tell you anything from legs to calves. Calves and legs are very easy to build. I mean, if you do them, they'll build because you're used to walking on your legs. When it comes down to chest, that chest is more about understanding how you do your back and to do your chest. So when people do their back, they think doing back is going like this, which you can if you have muscle control to really contract that lat and the back muscles. But some people use a lot of bicep, or they'll use a lot of back shoulder, or they'll use a lot, even triceps that they pull back, and they'll use that tricep. They're very arm prone. That's how I am. So now, with me, I'm trying to work on building the midsection of my body, so building my chest and my back. My lats are getting a little bit bigger than that to a certain extent. They're starting to get a little bit of girth on them and that. I'm not saying I'm trying to be like Juju and all those other people. They're all on steroids. They pop everything in the sink. And it feels like it's slightly unfair when you see these people now, but that's what they like to do. So there's not gonna be any natural person that's gonna look like Juju. I mean, not unless you have massively good genetics, but even still, like people talk about Chris Bumstead all the time. And I see his picture when he's 18 years old. The dude looks like he didn't look like a bodybuilder. He looked like he was a dude who was in massively good shape. Like he builds so much mass very quickly. Well, you're 16, 17 years old. You work out for 2 years. When you're very consistent. I mean, I seen a freshman or a 15-year-old guy. He was a black gentleman. He was ripped to the gills. He had literally abs on him. Like you could actually he was like xylophone his abs. He was so huge. He had big, enormous arms and that. He had big shoulders and that. Like, and I try to ask, I guess, people around him, and I even asked him, and he said, I was a boxer, baby. My dad was in boxing. That I took up boxing when I was like 10 years old. I boxed. I've been lifting since I was like 12 or 13. And then once you get that rust off, you start to build muscle. Once you hit puberty, and that your body just blows up. A lot of people do when they're younger. And I've seen people in eighth grade or just freshman year, big monstrous people. They're just super fucking powerful. They have the six pack, they have the big pecs and that. They hit weights constantly because that's what men most likely do. You do your push ups and that, honestly. Just do push ups. Do push ups, sit ups, and squats. You'll build a pretty nice body. Now, will you be able to build specific muscles better? No, you'll get your chest and your back will get a little bit in there. Yeah, I can't say your back shoulders. You'll get big front shoulders, but you won't get the middle as much as or get barely any back. Back shoulders mean a lot because no one uses them. That's why when I see myself do my my back flies, I can see my division from my front, middle, and back. I'm rather happy about it. So I'm like, oh yeah, you see a division in that. It's really nice to see. When other people look at it, they're all like, ugh, well, people get upset very easily. They're kind of assholes with the Nas, to tell you the truth. They wonder why someone gains so much mass. Because I keep mass on me. I'm not 15% body fat. I'm like 29. I roughly go between 28 and 30. People say it's fat because I got a gut on me. Well, that just means I got mass to be able to gain mass. That's all it is. And that's what people don't get. Skinny people have the hardest time gaining mass because more or less if they do eat a lot, they don't maintain the flow of food as good. It's all about persistent throughout the day. Like if you miss out on 100 grams of protein, and that's all you need, you better stay up for another 6 hours or so. Let your body digest, drink that protein as fast as possible. Get the filter protein so it digests a lot faster. I'd say about maybe 2 hours max. Wait that 2 hours, then drink again, and then go to bed, and then you'll have your full day of protein. Because if you don't, your body doesn't transfer proteins because you gobble it all up. I learned that the hard way. Like, oh man, I need 100 grams of protein. I'll drink a 100-gram shake. It doesn't do nothing. It upset your stomach. Your stomach can only rearrange and go through so much food. That's why you have a lot of shit. Ooh, man, it's dead tonight. I would believe someone would be looking on. Lucky to get a couple people on, but this is kind of boring. Where's everybody at? Shit, it's almost 11 o'clock. Maybe it's a bad time to do these talks. Whatever. People should get on. Probably get off work right now. It's Saturday. Yeah, I'll talk about women fitness too. I don't mind talking to anybody. gay, bi, whatever. I mean, you're a person. To me, it goes down religion, sex, and whatever culture, whatever. It doesn't matter. If people want to judge. We're so prone to doing that. It's because society wants us to be broken. We're very intelligent people. We should be. Have big ass heads. Have a big ass fucking forehead. Big ass forehead, motherfucking forehead, like 2.5 inches. Got a 2-inch forehead. Big brain. Covered up by hair. Big brain. Why? Oh, I got big brains. Got to open it up. It's like taking your head, like it's closed. Got to open it up. Got to think. But what you see and hear and taste and smell with your own eyes, what your own eyes, well, what your feelings actually feel when you go through them, instead of just like having someone tell you about something. If you don't know the knowledge, then by all means, if you're lazy, you don't want to research it for yourself, like I do. I have the luckiness of staying with my parents still. Am I lazy? Don't you want to live on your own? No. To me, that defeats the purpose. So if I live on my own, I won't have the stuff to do to talk to people whenever they do get on about the stuff that I know. I base my life about knowledge and research. I research everything. Most of it's just emotional stuff. So very heavy with relationships. I do like relationships a lot. I don't have a girlfriend. So, but I had a lot in the past. A lot of flings up and down with a lot of people. Not, but it doesn't matter how many people you date. It matters how much you learn from the people that you date. So, a lot of people do not actually get better. And it's sad. You know, I went through the ropes in that, but after my last relationship, I cut it off. I said, fuck it. I'm done. I'm not going to chase people anymore and that. I don't want to go on date sites and that. So I'm working myself. So I start researching that. I start going through my own motions that. And I start meditating. Then all of a sudden, I became less depressed. I barely need anxiety because I don't care what people assume. I'm more gutsy now because I work out. I'm more confident with myself. And confidence doesn't have anything to do with exercising altogether. It depends on what you choose to do. So if you're a person who likes to write books, write a book, you finish your book finally, it's a goal you finish, guess what? You get confidence. You have something to back yourself up. So, yeah, I wrote this book and that, you should read that. And then people go, oh, yeah. Just like me with my, my working out's not my main thing. Fitness is not my main thing. Emotional psychology is. The way how humans work, how we, do certain things and that. And it matters. It matters a lot. So when people sit there and like get into an argument with their wife, for instance, and they've been married, because I'm an old guy, they've been married for like 5-6 years, and they like to get in arguments. No, you get in discussions. Arguments mean someone has to be wrong. When you get two opposing opinions and that they're both kind of on the right track, but one doesn't like a certain thing, the other one doesn't like a certain thing, and you congregate, you discuss why then that you don't like the certain thing. Arguments have one person just sit there and be a dictator, and that's what I call it. And most times it's men. Sometimes it's women. Depending on the relationship, depending on both of them. Some women are massively controlling, just like some men are. So, I hope that movie guy, it'd be nice to talk to him again, see what's going on with him. He seemed It's just what he said in that. He's like, oh, I want to get back with my girlfriend. Your ex? I hate to say it, though. The way I see it is what I see. I would never do it. I like new things. I like new jobs. I don't like going back to the same job just because I don't like seeing the same people. I don't like having massive emotional attractions towards people and that. I mean, I don't mind it, but I don't want it. Because when it comes down to that, like people like have a lot of friends. I mean, you go on some people's Facebooks, they have like hundreds of billions of friends on their list, more like thousands, and no one talks to them. I mean, the friends list is like a subscriber thing. It's not like people subscribe to me. I mean, the two subscribers that subscribe to me don't come on and talk to me. I'm like, oh, hey, how you doing that? I mean, more or less because they don't care, or they're busy doing other things than that. That's just what it is. Oh, man, feels good. We just don't care. It's like right now, I have no one coming on here, because a lot of other people have to watch certain things and that, and I'm new. Only interest is that I might get a couple gay people because I already got hit on multiple times, or I'll get someone I don't reply to because I'm not used to looking down when I'm playing the game. When I'm really focused, normally because I'm drinking a lot of G Fuel and that, so I'm super focused. I kind of swing off. That's why I like doing these camera things, just talking that because I can be able to see it. And I can interact with people a lot better than that because this is real time. I'm still new. I don't know how to actually go actually live besides using a camera, but I actually don't know how to reduce the camera so you can see my background. What does this do? Facebook. Okay, this is the share. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Reddit. Look at all these. Tumblr. It's got a lot of things to do. I'm trying to get used to this stuff, but about anything. Predictions. I wanna roll with you. Period. Na 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 na. People's blog, gaming, music, education. I guess it would be people's blog. I guess people's blog. I ain't talking about my life. Talk about you. Like all Spaceballs. You. Got a weird finger. I miss Spaceballs. I think Mel Brooks died. I miss Spaceballs a lot. Think about playing some Shine vs. Neil on cam and just wait for people to come in, but God forbid. I was lucky to get that many people come in. I had like 95 views in that like an hour and a half period. Like the people were coming in and out and out and out. It was ridiculous. Like it was. I just barely got anybody to be like, oh yeah. Like yes, I am a gamer. I do like gaming. I got tons of streams up. A couple of them were actually rather funny. A couple of them I'm like pissed off at Resident Evil and I freaked the fuck out. If you enjoyed that, that'd be fun. But I don't know. I think I'm gonna take off. I'm gonna take off myself. Oh. I don't want to do. Mom, what's going on? First Saturday seems to be slow. No one cares about the NBA. NBA, no one gives a fuck. I surely do not care. That's definitely one thing that drove me crazy is that people love sports so much, and these are the people that potentially they like play them, but unfortunately they don't actually do good with them. They like watching people play. It's kind of stupid, honestly. Uh-huh. Get closer. 2.5 hours. I think it was like an hour and 30 minutes before anyone ever popped up. I'll stay on for longer. Why not? Well, why? Thank you. Unstable. Connection is unstable. But unstable. Your face is unstable. Hmm. I need to get on Final Fantasy 7 stream remake. No one watches my crap. It is tedious and annoying. There's just one lady. No, she made her banner and that, and no, and she has her intro and shit. She's been on for 2 months, and she's a very attractive looking woman. She's doing horror stuff, not horror. She's very good looking. It's like blood something. 2 months. She's getting over like 2 to 3K views, and I'm trying to figure out how the fuck can someone go in and get 10,000 subscribers in 2 months? Kind of fishy, don't you think? I mean, you could do a title thing, and if you do specific things, I guess people will come on and watch. But it's like I do game streams. Everyone watches game streams because all over the place, and I get no views. And I'm trying to figure out why the thing's happening. I don't know, because YouTube's an asshole, or because you guys just don't like watching people play games. So whatever it might be. Oh, I'm trying to figure it out. And I know it's because I don't have an intro. I gotta learn all this crap. I might have to talk to some other YouTubers now because I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. So any other YouTubers strum around out there, give me helpful advice or something like that. Because by all means, it's not my forte. I don't research that stuff. I don't think it's important, but a lot of people are pretty fake out there, especially in the fitness industry. Especially, you get all these like women in that and these jock looking men. I don't know if they're a jock, but far from it. They're not actually intelligent. They're actually completely idiotic. Like I always talk about Philion, and I always bring up Philion. Philion, He does it all for the money. I mean, honestly, his knowledge is basically just him just ransacking other people. People don't do the stuff to actually teach people. Like Vegan Gains is the same thing too. He does lift streams. He lifts pretty heavy, Persona's been lifting for not a ridiculous amount of time. He's not a bodybuilder. But he pulls people in based upon kind of like hatred. You'll hate carnivore people, vegans all the way. But then again, when you look at people like Greg Doucette, he's a bodybuilder. He has the proof that he's a bodybuilder. And he gets much more views. Why? More or less because he tells more truth. But people clash with someone that's like, you are on steroids and that. You haven't been working out for 20 plus years. You're younger than I am, Vegan Gang. And when I saw the dude's pictures before, he was just 6% body fat. He looked like shit. Like, he looked disgusting. And by all means, whatever you want to look like, fine. But the whole man physique thing of having like 10%, 6% body fat all the time. I mean, 10% body fat is ridiculously low. If you have good genetics, more or less, you can keep it all the time. If you're someone like me, people might look at me and be like, oh, why do you have a gut? I'm like, okay, why do you have a fucking face? Why do you have eyeballs? Well, you guys ask any question like that. It's because I do. Do I care? No, I don't. I don't care at all. Why should I care that I got, extra 30 pounds on me? Is that doing anything? It's actually keeping my legs strong because I had extra weight on my legs all the time. That's what it is. And do people realize that? Fuck no, they don't. No one realizes that shit. People want this perfection. You know how hard it is to get perfection? It's called a job. If it's your job to look good, you're going to look good. Plain and simple. And it's like that's just how it is. So when people sit there and they try to do this whole thing, they're doing it for views. Because they like making money. So you're fucking greedy. Oh, I have to survive. You can still stay truthful. Like Philion, lift the fucking weight for once. Give a fuck how old you are. You're 21, 22 years old. You wouldn't do in your YouTube channel for 2.5 years? You talk about fitness, but you don't lift weights. You look like you don't do nothing. Your max PR and deadlift is 500 pounds. Well, yeah, okay, good for you. But you look scrawny as fuck. You can have strong legs. No one looks at your fucking legs. Almost like I check out your legs, like, oh my god, nice legs. If they do, by all means, that's great. I check out your butt. They check out, you know what they check out? Your arms, your shoulders, your chest. The thickness of you is what makes a woman attracted to you, not having fucking strong legs. That's good for you. You look like you don't even pick up a damn dumbbell. I've seen your fitness thing with Juju. You deadlift 280 with that thick bar. I mean, it was hard, but it looked hard. You couldn't do it, obviously. More or less because you didn't have the grip. So that's the problem with me too. Grippy. Now, I'm not making fun of him. I'm not saying that he's a bitch. I just think he just doesn't lift weights. Look at me, size. I got thickness. You could tell that I at least lift weights. Oh, but you're older. You could have been done it for 10 years. Hell no. If I did it for 10 years, I wouldn't look like this. I'd look even better than this. If I lifted, 10 years as much as I do now, I'd be stunningly bigger. I'd be maxed out with muscle mass. I'd be walking around at like 225 with muscle. Why? Because that's how I think how my frame's gonna be. That's just how it is. That's how it always is.